Hello everyone, I'm Rod and Todd, a professional YouTuber who makes professional videos. A couple weeks ago, I reviewed the Power of the Primes Elita 1, and I said I was going to review all the other female Autobots, with each one getting their own video. But then I realized that would take forever, and I'd effectively be making the same video 4 times, because the 4 main female Autobots are released and can combine with Elite 1, all basically share the same exact mold. They just switched out the heads and gave them different colors. So I'm going to be reviewing them in pairs instead of each one getting their own video. So we're going to start off today with Moonracer and Novastar. These figures were both released in the Power of the Primes line, and Moonracer was the first and was an unexpected surprise, with Novastar's retool coming later. They're both kind of hard to find. I found my Novastar by complete chance. This is the first one of the female Autobots I got. And then I later got Moonracer off of Amazon and found Elita 1 at Target. So Moonracer, all the 3 other female Autobots are all stemmed from her, so we'll take a look at her first. Moonracer transforms into a Cybertronian car thing. As you can see, it's got some nice clear blue windows, prominent Autobot symbol at the front, nice sea green and white. It looks really cool in my opinion. It's got 4 free spinning wheels, even though, given how Transformers in recent years has shifted from using actual nice metal pinned axles to using these cheap clips, depending on what surface you're rolling it on, they either will roll or they won't roll at all. Don't attempt to roll them on like a smooth hardwood floor, because it won't work. So Moonracer, there's really not much else I can say about the alternate mode. And I guess we'll just get to the transformation. So you're going to want to start by removing this piece here. Then you fold down these 2 side panel thingies. Just move out those. Flip out the wrists or arms there. You're going to want to pull this whole section out. Flip out the head, and on my Moonracer, this is a really tight joint, and the head is prone to popping off. That could just be mine. You rotate the waist a full 180 degrees. This back section just kind of unplugs, pegs into the back. At which point, you can fold these back. Then there's a second waist joint that also rotates 180 degrees. To which point, as with most Transformers figures, you separate the legs, and then you just fold the feet down. And of course, you can put her arms down while you're at it. So here's Moonracer in her robot mode. And there's a thing here, is that most of the alternate mode, especially the top, really mainly just the top and the sides, all end up in this backpack. Which some people probably don't like that, but the figure stands up pretty well. It's not top heavy at all, which is nice. And now that Moonracer is in robot mode, we can take a look at her accessories. She came with 2 accessories. She came with this piece, which you removed previously. I'll elaborate more on that in a bit. And she came with this rifle, or this gun. I like to say this is a sniper rifle, because normally Moonracer has been characterized as a sniper. So I like to say this is a sniper rifle. Doesn't look too much like a sniper rifle, but there you go. So you just put that in her hand. And now that we take a look at the accessories, take a look at the articulation. She has a ball joint in her head, so it can move side to side and up and down. She has a ball jointed shoulder, so she can move to the side and around like this, even though she can't move her arm back because of this backpack. She has an elbow joint, which can bend 90 degrees, and is supposed to be able to get and can rotate a bit. However, depending on which one of the 4 female Autobots this mold uses, these elbow joints are very stiff. I remember when I got my Novastar, I honestly thought that the limbs would break if I tried to rotate it side to side. So then, she has waist articulation. She can move her arm out, or her leg all the way out. It can rotate a bit at the thigh. Double knee joint, but that's primarily because of the combined mode. And then she kinda has a bit of foot articulation, but it's not really there. Something you'll note about Moonracer is that she has this translucent or transparent blue plastic panel right there. Just thought I'd point that out. She also has 5mm posts, or ports, whatever, on her forearms, or on her arms, really, which you can also put the gun on. On to this accessory right here. We have, this is called Prime Armor, and it's meant to combine with the figure's chest. In the combined mode, this will form the hand. So, it just kind of tabs onto her chest very loosely. Doesn't really stay on too well. And there's her armored up mode. Now, this has a little removable bit, which is basically just designed to fill this gap here, but it's also designed to work like a gun, even though I don't use these like guns very often because they look stupid. But you can put that in her hand for storage. I guess it's nice that they gave that. Like they made it so you can hold, your figure can hold that piece so you don't lose it. I actually have the box for Moonracer, so we can take a look at how she was marketed. And Moonracer, as with most Power of the Primes Deluxes, were packaged on these cards. Not the more recent boxes of the Siege line, which I prefer. But she has some okay package art. See there, Autobot Moonracer. Get a picture of the car mode. Power of the Primes. Get the Transformers logo on the side there. And on the back, got some 3D renders, some adverts of the various Prime Masters that plug into the Prime Armor, which I'll demonstrate in a bit. And then it has a little short blurb on the back. How will the joyful Autobot sharpshooter wield the power of the Primes? And apparently it's designed to transform in 14 steps. I'm not counting, but whatever. So the Prime Armor is designed to hold one of the Prime Masters that were available in single packs or in big expensive Titan class figures or Comic-Con exclusives. So, Moonracer came with a collector's card. It's with all Power of the Primes figures did, except the Prime Masters, which are designed to show what would happen if Moonracer, or any other Transformer for that matter, would combine with one of the Prime Masters. And there's actually 12 variants of each card, which I don't have the time or the effort, or I don't have the time to track that down, so we just got the one that it came with. And this is her combining with Quintus Prime. And if Moonracer were to combine with Quintus Prime, she would use his power to fill the metal of dead worlds with life-giving energon. I actually have the Quintus Prime figure because he was one of the single available ones for like $5. So you just kind of plug it in there. And there. And yes, since the Prime Masters share the same engineering as Titan Masters and Titan's Return, you can fit one of the Titan Masters in head mode in there if you really want to, but why would you want to? Okay, so there's Moonracer. Now moving on to her retool, Novastar. Okay, so here's Novastar. Novastar in car mode is effectively the same thing as Moonracer. Same construction, same everything, just as you can see, it's red instead of green. Also, they replaced the transparent blue with some nice black plastic, or some nice like gray transparent plastic. And they removed the transparent blue stripe down her chest, which is nice. So overall, it's the same thing. I'm not going to elaborate much. So it transforms the same way. Yeah, fold these down after removing this. Arms out, wrists out, head, waist, back, other waist, feet, get the legs pegged out there, or flipped out, whatever, and arms down. So there's Novastar in her robot mode, and again, as you can see, she is very red with some nice orange, and she has a different head, but see, this one has really tight joints, so you can kind of move it side to side, and the wrist joint, or not wrist joint, elbow joint, as I mentioned, very tight. I think one of my personal pet peeves is when an action figure, or a toy of any kind for that matter, has some sort of articulation, and in order to use that articulation, it makes you feel like you're going to break it. It's one of my personal pet peeves. I think that should be one of the unwritten rules of action figures. Like, I get it might just be the plastic, but you should make it so that when a kid or an adult handles your figure, you should make it so that it doesn't feel like they're going to break it simply by moving the toy. Novastar has some different accessories. She has the same Prime armor, which can combine. I'll show you that again in a bit. But she has this little gun, which is an interesting side note, is designed to combine with Moonracer's gun, which you can use as the weapon of the combined robot. However, I prefer to not use... I use this gun for the combined robot, but I don't use this gun for the combined robot, which I will demonstrate once we actually talk about the combined robot. So, Novastar has this little pistol thingy. I like to say it's a flamethrower because her name's not actually Novastar, it's Firestar, but due to the trademark issues, they had to call the toy Novastar. So, I like to say it's a flamethrower personally, but whatever. It can just be a little pistol if you want. And of course, the Prime armor just kind of combines. And instead of the little gap filler gun thingy being transparent blue, it's just clear plastic, so there. At least you don't confuse them between toys, even though this is the same exact color plastic used on both Jazz and Punch, so you're probably going to get those mixed up if you unplug them all at once, which I think I have at some point. Her card details her combining with Prima, and if Novastar were to combine with Prima, she would use his power to liberate captured Autobots across the galaxy. And also, here's basically just a copy-paste of her card art. I didn't point that out already, so at least you can see what her card art looks like, even though I don't have a box. And normally, Prima would only be available through the massive Comic-Con Throne of the Primes, which sucks, because I remember when this line was announced, I was really excited about getting toys of all the Primes, only to find out that about 5 of them you can only get through expensive sets. Like, you'd only get Onyx Prime through Predaking, which is already expensive, and you can only get the others through the Comic-Con exclusive Throne of the Primes, which is also very expensive. However, once the line had ended, they announced some special edition releases, with each one coming with a special edition Prime Master figure. You had Blastoff, which came with a transparent red Megatronus, Repugnus, which came with a transparent blue Solus Prime, and then you had Punch, which came with a transparent blue redeco of the Prima figure that came with the Throne of the Primes. So naturally, I bought Punch, not just for Prima, but also because I also really like Punch, and I had enough money to afford him at the time, so I just bought him. And so there. You just plug Prima in, and thank you, Punch. And of course, once again, you can plug a Tight Master in there, even though I don't know why you'd want to, and it fell off. So anyway, wait, give me a minute. Here we go. So anyway, there is my review of Power of the Primes, Moonracer, and Novastar. I think they're meh figures. I like them, I like the sculpting, I like the articulation-ish. However, my complaint with these figures extends to my Combinowars figures as well, is that they're basically seen by Hasbro as limbs first and toys second. Or whatever. Which means half the figure is taken up by the combiner peg, hidden right there. And then once you open one or buy one, you're kind of compelled to buy 3 others and a big expensive torso to complete a combined robot. That was the thing with Combiner Wars. That's why I didn't buy any Combiner Wars figures, because A, they were too expensive, and B, yeah. So, I bought Novastar because I found her at Walmart one day on vacation, and I just kind of impulse. I just got it was an impulse buy. And then after that, I got a couple Decepticons, Jazz, and later Moonracer, as well as Illegal One. And then, so yeah, I guess, yeah, the combiner effect where if you buy one, you have to buy the others. I guess it did take a hold of me, but whatever. We won't be demonstrating the limb or robot to limb conversion until the combined robot video. Anyway, my final thoughts: they're fine. I guess the retools make sense. At the time, I thought it was kind of lazy, but I like it now. I think it definitely fits. Anyway, with Moonracer down, I think it's a good time to end this video. That was my review of Power of the Primes, Moonracer, and Novastar. I hope you'll like the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And this has been Rod and Todd, signing off.